Joining me now is Brayden Guy, a forward with the Guelph Storm, who has just been named their newest captain. Congratulations, Brayden, and thanks for joining me.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So how did you find out that you were going to be the next captain of the Guelph Storm, and what was your reaction to that?
Yeah, so a little bit different than it was done in Sarnia. George Burnett, our general manager and coach, just kind of made the announcement in front of the room the day before one of the games, a couple of weeks after I got here, and it was kind of out of the blue, a little bit surprising. I didn't know anything beforehand, so obviously really excited. A little bit overwhelming, not expecting big news like that right away with a new team, but definitely super thankful for the opportunity.
Yeah, you mentioned being the captain in Sarnia. What did you learn from that experience that you can bring to the Storm?
You know what? I think just the similarities between the two teams. Obviously, I came here to Guelph to try and win a championship and help lead a young group, and they had that in Sarnia as well. They had obviously with the COVID year and all that time off, there's new guys that are coming into the league more so than normal, and a lot of guys that I think need some guidance and a little help on the leadership standpoint. So that's kind of the similarities between being the captain there and bringing that here as well.
Yeah, lots of young guys on this Guelph team. What's the piece of advice you find yourself having to give out the most?
I think just from seeing stuff in the past, guys getting kind of caught up in the draft projections and the lists and stuff that come out at this time of the year. On a team that is trying to make a long playoff run and hopefully go a long way and win an OHL championship. It's not good to have guys in the room that kind of put themselves before the team and get caught up in those draft lists and the projections and stuff. So just trying to relay the message that the coaches and the coaching staff are giving them in terms of just don't look at it, don't get caught up in it. Put the team first, and obviously with the more success that our team has will come more personal success. So just trying to remind them of that for sure.
It must be hard when those sorts of things are floating around on the internet. There's social media. You guys are on national games. There's lots of TV. Like, is it hard to avoid that sort of coverage?
Yeah, I think so. Just with how social media is these days, it's pretty hard to avoid it. And whether you say that you're not going to look at it or not, it's kind of hard not to, because it's obviously exciting. It's an exciting time, and the NHL draft is a big deal. So it's hard not to get caught up in it. But I think it's important to do it as little as possible for sure.
You also, along with you, came Ashton Reeser and Cam Saprika from the Sarnia Sting. Does it feel like a little bit like Sarnia North here?
Yeah, a little bit. It's kind of funny how that worked out. When I had heard about it, I reached out to Soupy right away and let him know that Ashton and I were going to be joining him again. So it's kind of funny, like I said, how it worked out. We both, or all three of us, actually started in Sarnia at the beginning of this year, and obviously I played with Ashton for my whole junior career, but played with Soupy over in Europe actually during the COVID season. So had a good relationship with the two of them, and I was pretty excited to get the chance to finish my junior career with those two guys.
You've got 14 points in 16 games with the Storm. What's been clicking for you since coming here?
A bunch of things, honestly. Our team struggled a little bit, so we're trying to get that figured out. But for me personally, I just think playing with some new guys, some really high end guys with high end skill and obviously very talented, and then obviously just been getting a lot of opportunity in a lot of situations. I've been I think a guy that the coaches have relied on in a bunch of different situations, whether it's the penalty kill or power play or lots of 5-on-5 time. So I've been given a good opportunity to make the best of it, and I'm trying to do that right now.
What do you have to do to be able to do that?
For me personally, I think it's just getting in a routine and not thinking too much about it. Obviously, it's a game of unpredictable things. So there's certain things that you can't control. There's injuries. There's all this stuff going on with COVID and that kind of thing, and trying not to let any of that bother me and get in my head, and just show up to the rink regardless of who my line mates are or who's in the lineup that night, and just putting my head down and working, and hoping everything else comes along with it.
Your first OHL game was against the Guelph Storm back in 2017. Did you think of that? What do you remember from that game? And did you think of that when you were traded?
Yeah, I didn't think of it originally. It wasn't something that that had sparked, my memory. I couldn't even remember at the time when I got traded that was the team that I played my first OHL game against. But I think a couple of weeks after I got here, I had looked back and was going through some stuff in Sarnia and seen that was my first OHL goal or first OHL game. Sorry, and yeah, I thought it was pretty funny. Obviously, at the time, if you would have told me that I was going to finish my career playing for the same team that I played my first OHL game against, I probably would have not believed you. But I think it's awesome how it worked out. So it's pretty cool.
Obviously, we're all hoping for lots of success for the team on the ice, but what do you want just in terms of getting the most out of the rest of your career here in Guelph?
Yeah. It's a busy last couple months where we've got a ton of games coming up here. So obviously the with how many games we have coming up, there's not a whole lot of practice time available. So trying to make the best out of the practice time that we're given. And one of the things that's been amazing since I've been here is just the amount of resources that have been available to me since I've got here in Guelph. Just so many different things that are there for me on a daily basis to use and to better myself. So it's a busy time. There's, decisions that have to be made, whether, it's going pro or going to school and talking to Canadian universities and trying to figure out, what's going on next year for me. But right now it's trying to win an OHL championship with the Guelph Storm. So that's the main focus right now.
Well, good luck with that. And thanks for joining me today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.